Hi everyone, my name is Verónica Mota and I am giving this conference from Berlin. Let's begin. The title of my conference is The Future of Cyberpunk. First, I want to begin with the background of cyberpunk, what those cyberpunk comes from. After, I'm going to move to the meaning of cyberpunk. And lastly, with the future of cyberpunk. Is there a future or are we totally doomed? The background of cyberpunk is science fiction in film and literature, rock, punk, industrial, and techno in the terms of music, comic culture, fanzines and magazines, fashion and body symbolism, critical and rebellious authors and creative workers, but also post-Marxism and anarchism. Basically, anarchism because of its ideas of an anti-authoritarian reality or realities, but also the decentralization of power and mostly the socialization of knowledge. As a cultural reference, we have German Expressionism with Metropolis, a very important film for cyberpunk. Metropolis explored the idea of class division. In Metropolis, Fritz Lang speaks about a machine, which is kind of the temple of Moloch. And this machine lives from the blood of factory workers. Beneath Metropolis, there are catacombs. And in this film, Fritz Lang explored the exploitation and extermination of the working class. Now we move to another classic, which is a book, a British dystopian narrative from George Orwell, 1984. Here we have Orwell explores the consequences of totalitarianism, mass surveillance, and repressive systems. He also researched the role of truth and facts and what I call the post-truth momentum or simulation. He really talks about our moment today. That's why this book has become one of the best sellers in Amazon, which is extremely, extremely ironic. But it describes what we are passing through, which is we don't know anymore what is truth, what is real, and what is not. And also, to give you an example, when people say that the Holocaust never happened, people are ignoring even historical facts. Terrifying. Now we move to Isaac Asimov, which is a very important American author for the science fiction terrain. He wrote Foundation, which is a sci-fi series in which he describes the rise and the fall of the empire. In this book, he's basically predicting futures and fighting failures. Foundation uses the idea that science and technology could eventually save the spirit of science and civilization. This book is very important because Asimov is doing what we should be doing at the moment, which is try to rescue what is available for us using science and technology. Another book that is very important for cyberpunk is The Society of the Spectacle by Goethe. This is Marxist critical theory, and the book explores for the first time the concept of spectacle. In this book, he talks about reality as a mere representation. Also, he mentions how the subjects are drugged by spectacular images. And he says, or he suggests to us that the way to free the subject, the subjugated subject, is through situationism. We have to create actions constantly. Another author that is extremely important for cyberpunk is Michel Foucault. Michel Foucault talks about the relationship between knowledge and power and their use for social control. Here we're talking about institutions for domestication, for instance, universities, hospitals, the police, and jails. Here I have a film for you if you want to watch Clockwork Orange by Stanley Kubrick. Also, we have another author which is very important. His name is Jean Baudrillard, also from the French school. Simulacra and simulation. We are talking here about cultural theory and postmodernism. Baudrillard is basically doing a theory of the consumer society governed by a code. Also, he describes the world as a mere simulation. And through his analysis, he describes what he calls a difference between the real and the hyper-real. By the way, The Matrix, the film The Matrix, which is also a part of cyberpunk culture, is based on simulacra and simulation. And now we jump to the father of cyberpunk, William Gibson, with his book Neuromancer. William Gibson wrote a set of novels, including Neuromancer, but they are actually 3 novels. One is Neuromancer, the other one is Count Zero, and La Mona Lisa Overdrive. The importance of William Gibson is how he describes the near future world dominated by corporations and ubiquitous technology. Sounds familiar? I'm sure it does. He also talks about machine intelligence and global information space, which he calls cyberspace. He was the first person talking about cyberspace and describing it. Now we're gonna talk about Donna Haraway and her A Cyborg Manifesto. That's the original title. These pictures that you see here is from an edition that the Italian corner did with a fantastic cover. That's why I choose it. But the original title is A Cyborg Manifesto. Haraway, what she does in this book is a critique to feminism. And she's doing a journey through identity politics and transhumanism. She also talks about the post-gender cyborg, which is basically the fusion between organism and machine. I quote, "I will be rather a cyborg than a goddess." And here you can see a very strong materialist feminist. She's basically also writing about how she is against the Oedipal patriarchal project. I have a couple of questions. How do we transform a system that controls everything, including our desires, dreams, bodies, and souls? How to resist from within the matrix when we seem to be powerless and irrelevant? What does the future hold after COVID-19? How can we build a sustainable system moving from dystopian realities to utopian contexts? The future of cyberpunk. That is the answer to this conference. Cyberpunk is a rebellious underground movement against capitalism, authority, progress, and the capitalist use of technology. We reclaim the machine. We are the voices of a dystopian no future. Cyberpunk is data, algorithms, machinery, new technologies, social media, androids, feminist cyborgs, code, biohacking, techno-shamanism, web guerrilla, online activism, techno-rapes, networks, deconstruction, transhumanism, xenofeminism, and many other ways of the resistance from within the matrix. Cyberpunk means fighting back. And I hope that you get ready for what is coming, because we are in very hot times. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoy my conference. I send you a lot of greetings from Berlin. Thank you.